There were two fishermen living in a village, and then one was poor and the other was rich. And they continued living for some time. And the poor fisherman started asking God, why do we work the same hours a day at the same place? And this man continues to be rich and I am poor. He complained till God finally caused the disaster, flooding, to come and then wipe everything that they had away. All of them were now poor. So when they were all now poor, God caused a stranger somewhere to come and donate money to them for them to be able to continue with their business. And they were now having the same amounts of money. So when they were starting, they all started fishing again, small. They went and bought new nets. They started fishing, and with time, they were back to normal. They were all making money again from their fishing. Then the poor fisherman went to buy a lot of the clothing, new clothing, and then everything that he used to have, he started buying them again. He could be trending in the latest fashion in town, bought the type of all the luxuries that he wanted. Then the rich fisherman, the one who was the rich fisherman, he didn't buy anything. When he started getting money back, he was still living a humble life, not buying luxuries, not buying new clothing or the best things that he wants to really have in life. Then what he rather did is that he invested the money he got back into the business. He bought more nets, had more people, hired more people to help him, and then he started coming back and making a lot of money again. And then within a short time, he became rich again with so much money that he could even stop working and the money could still flow. So what is the lesson from these two? The lesson from them is that one has the wisdom of an entrepreneur and one has the wisdom of a poor person or an unsuccessful person. The second thing is that one was able to deny his instant gratification for a delayed one, while the other one the poor one was satisfying his instant gratification. And I want to ask, have you thought of why two people all have 24 hours in a day, yet some people are worth $1 million in a day, or some people are worth thousands of dollars in a day, and some people are worth $10 in a day? What is the difference? Is it that some are luckier than others? In this video, I will share with you 5 secret hacks that helped me to achieve more in 1 year than what I achieved in the previous 10 years. And I was really so far behind in life. And I could see that there are some people who are even far younger than me, and they could achieve so much in 1 year more than my several years of working. And the day I discovered this secret and I put them into practice, I had a total, it really took time, but the transformation came, and I'm going to share with you. The number one life secret hack that has helped me to achieve more within a short time is I set aside time for thinking. I discovered after reading the stories of successful people all across the world that one thing that they do is they think. For example, Isaac Newton, one of the greatest scientists who ever lived, who discovered gravitational force, was thinking under a tree when an apple fell on him, and he started thinking why the apple, which detached from the tree, did not fall to the top but fell down. And that is where he discovered the law of gravitation. Albert Einstein used to have a quiet time in his laboratory where he thinks. John C. Maxwell, one of the best authors on leadership, says that he thinks in the middle of the night in his library or early in the morning. Some people think when they are in the washroom or when they are bathing. Some people think when they are in the car. Most of the successful people who really change the world, they discover the ideas to change the world in their quiet time. How did I apply this to my life? I think mostly either at midnight, where my mind is working 10 times faster than the way it works in the normal daytime. So how do I get a time to think? I know a lot of people will say, oh, me, I don't have time to really get time to sit down and think on my own ideas. All of us have the time. If you don't have the time to really sit down and think, it's because you haven't invested into it. So what do? I make sure that I sleep at least 30 minutes or 1 hour in the day, every day in the afternoon. So for example, I can sleep around 12 to 1. And when I sleep that 30 minutes or that 1 hour, it is easier for me to wake up in the middle of the night or early in the morning. So this is one of the things I have been using. And I tell you, the daytime is very noisy. And in the noisy environment, there is less productivity. But as I always sleep in the daytime just a little, I am able to reserve that energy for the night. And when I wake up in the night, when I wake for only 2 hours or let's say 3 hours, it's more than me waking 5 hours in the daytime. So one of the advice I would give you is, if you can really get time to think in the night, even 2-3 hours or even 1 hour every day, or even if not every day, at least you should make it regular, a certain maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times a week. It will help you a lot. If you don't have that particular kind of situation where you can sleep in the afternoon, then I will advise you to sleep early. How do you do that? If you close from work around 5 p.m., get to the house by 7, then make sure that by 8 you sleep. When you sleep early by 8, if you have been always sleeping around 10 p.m. and you make it a habit to sleep early, if you sleep early by 8, by 12 to 1 you wake up. So it is about studying your body and knowing which one is best for you. Some people can either stay late to do whatever they want to do, or they can sleep early and wake up early. Or if you can, in the case of what I am telling you, if you can sleep small in the afternoon, you'll be able to wake up in the middle of the night. And I tell you, in the middle of the night when everything is cool, it is the time people change the world. When I say the time people change the world, no, I know a lot of evil things happen at that time, but a lot of positive changes, the people who also change the world in a very positive way. Most of the changes occur at that time because at that time when you are thinking, the speed of your brain is 10 times faster than normal daytime. You are able to make very concrete choices. You are able to think, and creativity is highest at that time. So thinking in the middle of the night is the best. If you can get time for thinking, you are going to cause change and it will help a lot. Okay, so we go to the secret life hack number 2. The number 2 is, I read one book every week. And here again, I discovered that most of the ideas that we discover, until you read books and you gather ideas from different sources, you will always be the same way you are. So what I do is that I have resolved for the last 3 years to read one book every week. And some people will say, I am busy, I have never got time to read. If I won't get time to read. If you really want to read, you get time. How do you do it? One thing I do is that I have an audio reader that I really it can read audio. So most of the books I have their PDF, so I can just be playing and be reading the audio, and then as I listen to the audio every day, wherever I am. So for example, if I am coming to work in a car, I am reading and I'm listening. You can connect it to the car. You can even play the audio and connect it to the car, and it will be playing and you'll be listening. In the house, for instance, before I sleep, I play it and I always listen to it. So before you sleep, you can read even 30 minutes. Sometimes some people complain that they struggle to sleep. If you cultivate it as a habit to read before you sleep, sleeping will be very easy for you, because once you put your effort and you are concentrated on reading, you know the eyes, when you focus to read with time, you easily feel sleepy than you lying down and doing nothing. So I read at least 30 minutes before I sleep. And when I wake up, within the first 1 to 2 hours in the day, I read at least 30 minutes. Even when I'm in the house and I'm doing house chores, or let's say I want to bath or iron or do anything, I am reading, and it can read audio, so I'm listening and it is reading. So I use any little opportunity I get to read. I read before I sleep, I read when I wake up, I read when I'm in the house, and even if I'm bathing, I'm reading. So this is how I am able to read one book every week. So I read. If you have the a physical copy and you can read along with it, good. If you don't have the physical copy and you can have the soft copy, you can read faster. So I make sure that I read one book every week using my audio reader. You can either be reading, you can download most books have audio forms on the internet, and you can download it on YouTube and be reading the audio, or you use the PDF with Pocket Book Reader. Pocket Book Reader, if you are interested to know the app that I use to read, Pocket Book Reader, I will include it in the description box below. And so that is it. So I read one book every week, and this is how I do that. Okay, so we go into the third one. The third one is I plan far ahead before I do anything. I plan far ahead before I do anything. How do I do that? What I do is that in my diary, every day I write things, ideas that come into my mind, because research has shown that the average the lifespan of an idea is 10 minutes. When something comes into your mind, you don't write it down. After 10 minutes, it will go. It may come back periodically, but it will, as time goes on, you will lose that idea completely. So I write everything in my diary. So I plan what I'm going to do the following day before the day actually comes. So like what I'm going to do tomorrow, I've already written it down. And every month I have what I'm going to do for that particular month. So I break it down into weeks and weeks into days. So every week I have a list of activities in my to-do list for that week, and I break it down into days. So Monday I'm going to do this. So every day before it gets to the day, I write down what I'm going to do that following day, and I follow it. And I tell you, it has been helping me. It helped me to live a very well organized life. So that is the second point. So the third point. So the third one is that I plan far ahead in advance before any activity. So if you cultivate this and you make it a habit to always plan in advance, to have a to-do list for what you're going to do in the following week, in the following day, it will always help you a lot. So that is the third one. The fourth one is that I budget and I record my expenditures. What do I mean? I don't buy anything at all that I meet. You know, human beings, our wants are unlimited. So if you don't have a record, a budgeted list of things you need to buy, then you will end up buying a lot of things far more than what you previously would have thought is necessary for you. And at the end of the day, you will never know where your money is going, and you will never be able to do meaningful saving. So what I do is that every month I write down the list of things I want to do. So for example, maybe this is what I will spend on food, this is what I will spend on electricity, this is what I spend on transport and all that. So I have the budgeted amount of things, the number of things I want to buy, and the total amount I will spend. And I also have an amount for emergency. There are certain things that will come that I did not plan for. So I have miscellaneous or emergency list, so that I know that if something comes along the way, this money is what I will use to buy. So that way, I don't buy things that I didn't plan for. Or even if I should buy things I did not plan for. It's a limited list. So it helps me to be able to to avoid unnecessary buying decisions, which will put me into a lot of debt or a lot of extravagant spending where I will not be able to save more money. So that is the fourth one. So I'm able to save money. Sometimes I can save up to 70-80% of my income because I have a budgeted list and I will not spend outside that list. Okay, so we go to the fifth one. The fifth one is I don't watch TV or movies. And then someone may say that this is weird. But one thing about the internet, or one thing about TV and then movies, is that the moment you become very addicted to watching TV, you will be wasting a lot of time. And I'm not the first person to do this. We have a lot of billionaires like Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, who does not watch TV. We have someone like Steve Courage, who doesn't watch TV. I'm not saying that you should stop watching TV. If you are watching TV, what I only mean is that you should have control time for TV or for movies. I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies. And even if I watch movies at all, then it is maybe business related and personal development and motivational movies. Unlike the movies in a world today, which are always about negative information, about witches and wizards, about juju, about things that don't really exist, but at the end of the day, they create some bad impressions in our mind that if you don't even take time, most of the movies will actually enslave your mind. You'll be addicted to watching them, and you spend an average or maybe 3 to 5 hours on a day watching movies. Social media is already taking a lot of our time. If movies come to take a lot of your time, movies and TVs, so at the end of the day, you don't get meaningful amount of time to do your personal things. So it's the reason why a lot of people say they don't have time. And when I talk to people, they will say, oh, I don't get time to read, I don't get time to focus on my personal things. But they are the same people who they have 24 hours in a day like any other person. They work 8 hours at work. The remaining 8 hours they sleep, and the last 8 hours, what do they use it for? They use it on miscellaneous things they can never account for. So I will advise you, if you want your life, you should either have a controlled amount of time you use for TV and movies, or you stop watching it altogether, like what I do. And I tell you, the day I made some of these important decisions and I implemented them, it helps me a lot and I achieve a lot. And in relation to the reading that I was saying, I started reading books about 3.5 years ago. And I tell you, it took me almost 2 to 3 years before I started realizing the effect of the reading. I started preaching about business, about personal development, and I was having nothing. And people saw me as a walking contradiction. But as time went on, those opportunities, those development, those personal development and reading of those books I started 3 years ago have started yielding results today. And I tell you, if I did not read those books 3 years ago, I would not have had what I have today. So what I want to just say is that these are the 5 life hacks that are helping me to achieve more in 1 year than what I achieved in the past 10 years. And if you implement them in your life, you see a very tremendous improvement. Subscribe to our channel and turn on to the notification bell as we continue to produce powerful videos every week that will help you to change your life and become a very better person. Thank you for watching. Bye.